Coach Al, what was your message to your team in the locker room afterwards?
I told them actually not to be disappointed in themselves. We played a terrific first half. They played a better second half. And, you know, in basketball, someone wins, someone loses. And we were one of the final 8 teams in the entire country. And no one expected that when you're picked in the preseason poll 12th. And you kind of think to yourself, I hope we have a winning season. Well, boy, did we have a winning season, and boy, did these guys do a fantastic job of representing our university. So I told them I was just very, very proud of them and that I loved them, and they will have these memories, not this game, but all the memories that led up to it. They'll have it for the rest of their life. They'll be sharing these stories with their grandchildren. I know that because I share a lot of stories with my grandchildren.
What made this team so special? What made them unique to be able to make a run like this?
I've said it before, you know, when Sam Wardenberg came into my office and I asked him, what are you thinking? He said, I'm coming back. And I asked him why. He said, Coach, when I came here, we were really on a high note and building something very special. I'm not leaving the program in worse shape. I'm going to fight to get us back to the big dance. And then when Cam Auguste and Isaiah Wong withdrew their names from the NBA draft, we had the foundation of a very good team, 2 really good guards and a really good big guy. And we needed to find a couple of transfers to join them. And Bill Courtney is a fantastic recruiter, and Chris Caputo, my staff, they do an amazing job of identifying people who fit. You know, it's not about just being a good basketball player. You got to fit what the program is about. And there was no better fit than Charlie Moore and Jordan Miller. And once we had those 2 guys, and they were with us for the summer, the coaches got very excited about what this season could be. But we knew we had to make some serious changes in our offense and defense to make it all work. We did it. The players adapted to a new system. And after getting really comfortable with each other and with the new system, we started playing really good basketball in December. You got to remember, we went undefeated in the month of December. We won 9 in a row at one time. We were 5-0 in the ACC and didn't even get a vote, I think, in the top 25. It was like, no, Miami, they're not very good. And I don't know, we had a lot of guys crying in the locker room because losing stinks. I mean, guys like to win and they play as hard as they possibly can. But I told them, you got to give credit to Kansas. They came out in the second half and played about as hard and as fast as you can play college basketball. And we shot the ball terribly, did not make a 3. We took some ill-advised shot, and to start the second half, we turned the ball over, which is so uncharacteristic of us.
I was just going to ask you about that, and I hate to go back to the game, but
Yeah,
to
go.
write my game report. Your team.
What is this, a game report? You got to talk about the game?
I have to talk about the game a little bit before the big picture. You know, your team generally was the team that didn't turn the ball over, that was poised, that even when they went down by 18, they came back, unflappable, all of those words. Did it surprise you, or what is it that Kansas did that, you know, the scrambling defense and all the stuff you guys had done?
Couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it against them.
No. So here's the thing about the scramble. It works really, really well when you score, and now you can set it up and everybody is ready to rotate. We didn't score. We turned the ball over, we missed shots. So there was no great opportunity to go on a run like we have so many times. Force a turnover, score a bucket, trap them, and, you know, create some havoc. That did not exist in the second half. In the second half, they were the ones controlling tempo. They were making us miss, or we were turning it over, and they were running down the floor and attacking the rim. We kept emphasizing before the game, yesterday, today, during every timeout, we've got to get back defensively and prevent the 5-second layup. We never did that in the second half.
And I want to ask you also about the foul trouble. How much was that an issue too? I mean, you had Charlie sitting, Jordan sitting, Sam had foul trouble. I mean, how much did that affect? Well,
as I mentioned
also?
about Sam Wardenberg was a -3. Now, if he was a -20, okay, him being out there maybe is not a factor. But when he's a -3, when we lose by 26, that means when he's on the court, we're winning for the most part, or it's close. We take him out and he's got to sit in foul trouble. We were not able to sustain our execution at either end of the floor. Now, is it Sam's fault? No. The credit really goes to Kansas and David McCormick and Bill Self. They made a concerted effort to get David McCormick the ball in the paint to start the second half. We knew that. It wasn't a surprise to us. The difference is when you're playing so fast, and I have to guard my man, but then I got to help guard David McCormick, but my man is running around so fast that I've got to chase him, and then all of a sudden they throw it into David McCormick and I got to trap him. Way too late. So David McCormick got fouled a number of times. He scored the ball several times.
He had some dunks and stuff.
And so everything is about executing your game plan. We were not able to, and they were.
Coach, how do you celebrate the run with everything your team accomplished this season?
Well, the celebration is really during the run. That, you know, the locker room scenes and the dancing and the celebrations. One of the great moments was last night in our team meeting when Harrison, our manager, he did a dance on video after the Iowa State game that no other players had ever seen. And we showed that video, and the guys roared with laughter, high-fiving each other, because our managers and our grad assistants, they're very much a part of the program and very friendly with the guys. When you see someone that you care about deeply having so much fun and sharing that with you, it's the greatest feeling in the world. You know you're a part of a team, and teamwork works.
Coach, you mentioned the foundation you guys are trying to build here. What can you say about the support the fan base was able to give you guys out here in Chicago?
You know, one of the amazing things, and COVID really dampened college athletics for such a long period of time. No fans in the arena, no atmosphere, and it's really hard to put a value on what it's like to play in front of a sellout crowd or a really loud crowd cheering wildly for you. And when January hit, our students started to turn out, and our band was there, our cheerleaders were there, and the fans started to come, and there was more and more energy in the Watsco Center than even when we've sold out some games. And then that travel, when we came out here, people were coming out and getting flights, and I don't know, my son even flew from the Los Angeles Clippers, paid for him to fly out with his family, and you know, there's a lot of excitement surrounding March Madness, and so much positive. So you don't want to dwell on any of the negatives that happen. Losing, that's a negative, but you know, put it in perspective.
Couple more for Coach Al. Coach, how
Thanks. Hold on, don't let it go.
Quick one.
You should have get this.
Coach,
Who am I listening to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coach, how excited are you about your future with Bensley and Luka?
Yeah, you know, you had a chance to see the opportunities that Bensley and Wooga had today. Unfortunately, neither one of those were able to make some three-pointers, but you know, they put us in a good position to build towards next year. And of course, we have Jordan Miller and Anthony Walker back, and never know if anybody's going to decide to transfer. We would never hold anybody back if they think there's someplace better for them, but we think we have a good foundation of players returning. We have a young man redshirting named Ja'Kai Robinson, who I think is going to be an outstanding player in our program. And so, you know, we go back to work in 2 weeks. We give the guys 14 days off. It's been a routine for my entire career. Season ends, no matter when that ends, you get 2 weeks off. Take care of your schoolwork, and then we start getting you ready for the following season.
What kind of experience, big game experience, how valuable is that for those guys? This is the standard now. This is the expectation for those young guys.
You want me to start with that already, Ruthie?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
No.
Okay.
Really, the expectation for players and coaches, in my mind, is always the same. Be the best that you can be. put in the time and the effort and develop your skills for whatever your job might be. If you're a big guy, you might have different responsibilities than a guard or a point guard. And what these guys have to do is improve. You have to get better. There is no standing still. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. And this year we got better. And hopefully these young guys realize they got to get better.
Two more for Coach
What do
Al.
the next 2 weeks look like for you?
I'll have to inquire with my wife what her plans are, because she's in charge of our schedule. I don't make the schedule unless my coaches make a schedule for us recruiting-wise. And so I'll sit with my staff today, talk about what's next in recruiting, talk to my wife about what she wants to do. I don't know if she's going to want to go to the Final Four or not, or she's just going to want to unwind and just be by ourselves for a little while.
Last one for Coach Al.
Will this go down as one of the most special groups of players you've ever coached in your career?
Of course. And how many years is this for me, Alex? 38? Yeah, they're all very special, all 38 teams, because they're all different. You know, winning is great, and getting to the Elite Eight, you know, very, very hard to do, and these guys accomplished a lot. But even seasons when we didn't do so well, there are a lot of special moments in my memory that I've had teams that I thought should have made the NCAA tournament that I thought could really make a run and didn't get invited. That's why I've really encouraged anybody that's listening, following this, we need to expand the NCAA field. It needs to go to 96. And with 96 teams, we'll have more teams like we see in St. Peter's. You know, if St. Peter's had not won their conference tournament, they probably wouldn't have been invited, and yet they've had a great run. There are a lot of teams like that throughout this country. And the greatest thing about the NCAA tournament is every kid growing up in his neighborhood dreams about one day participating, and yet we have less than 20% of the student athletes who play Division I basketball ever making it to the dance.